Fellas, what is going on? Welcome in. Welcome to the week 2 edition. Week 1 I missed, so forgive me, but week 2 we are back in business. Business is booming. We are already 2 weeks into the books. I'm very surprised it's going this quickly, but everything obviously running smoothly so far this year. So without further ado, let's just jump into the week 2 scoreboard. I'll go over some standings and everything real quick, but week 2, actually, I'm feeling a lot better about my team. Putting up 133, leading the league in scoring and largest margin of victory. Beat Eric, who was the second highest scoring team. Got a little Nico luck for him. Got 18.6 from Bortles with some garbage time, but had consistent scoring throughout. I mean, Fitzgerald, Jeffrey, DeAndre Hopkins, DeMarco Murray continues to tear it up. So his defense and kicker also chipped in a ton of points. So it was a good matchup for me and Eric back and forth on that Sunday. But I had Cardinals D give me 22. I think Tucker got me 15. Rodgers continues to be a bum. At this point right now, I'm a little nervous with that third pick, kind of wasted. My bum of the day, obviously, Sammy Watkins just continues to kill my team. But going from there, obviously I'm 1-1, pretty happy with where I'm at, highest scoring in the league so far, so top notch for me so far. My division's super tough with Eric's team, Brock's team, obviously, Javi, who's 1-1 as well, and Jared, who's 2-0, so definitely tough division. Speaking of Jared, got another victory, Mr. 2-0, 95-91. Nico just lost by 4 points. Nico had an amazing Thursday night, almost 29 out of Mr. Forte, who just continues to tear it up in New York, and that offense is pretty much tailored for him. Jared was led by none other than his keeper, Carson Palmer, with 24.3. Lit it up against Tampa Bay's defense. I think he had 3 touchdowns, just very proficient. That game was out of hand by the third quarter. Javi and Brock's matchup was by far the craziest matchup I think we've had in the league. Brock pulled out a 0.9 victory. I know last year we had a 0.1 victory, but this I think was crazier because of a statistical definition actually came into play of what a blocked punt was, which drastically changed the outcome of the game. If you guys didn't see it, Packers blocked a punt, but because the punt traveled past the line of scrimmage, it's still considered a successful punt, whether it was blocked or not, as far as I know. So Javi was not credited with the 2 points for the block kick. Therefore, if it would have counted, he would have won 68.1 to 67. But Brock pulls out the amazing victory with, I scored more than both teams combined this week. So that's fantasy for you. But pulled out the win. Brock was led by C.J. Anderson with 15. He continues to be an amazing back so far. Looks to be the workhorse there. And he's going to score a ton of points, a lot of touchdowns. And it's not a good week when you're led by your kicker with 14 points, so Javi got a little work to do. Joe pulled out his first victory of the year, 80.3 to 70.5 to Aaron. Aaron was led by Matt Stafford with 15, but it could have been a lot more. I feel bad for Aaron in this one because if you watch the Lions game, like he was saying, a lot of penalties, a lot of stupid plays, cost Aaron the game. And Joe was led by the Texans D with 15. Obviously, that defense still looking good. They played the Bears. They do have a pretty easy schedule, especially with some of those other offenses in that division. But, both teams now split at 1-1. And then we got Mike Scott pulling out his first victory of the year, 99.9. Didn't quite hit triple digits to Jeff's 89. Jeff, host, you're not looking so hot at 0-2. Not where you need to be. AP injury really kind of saved you. Torn meniscus. He might only miss a couple weeks instead of ACL. You got Bell coming back after this week, so I think Jeff's team will be right where they need to be. Jarvis Landry obviously picking up some catches, and Jordy Nelson. I mean, the chemistry issue with Rodgers and Jordy's really concerning for me. I mean, they still hook up with touchdowns, but it's not what I thought it would be. That offense is not clicking at all, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, see if that actually turns around. Mike was led by Cam Newton with almost 30 points. Cam's arguably the best quarterback in the league at this point with the way he can run and the way he passes. And Jeff was led by Roethlisberger with 19.8. So all in all, guys, so really we have one 2-0 team, one 0-2 team, and then everybody else is 1-1. So 8 1-1 teams. pretty much shows. I mean, the league that we do run. I mean, it's only 2 weeks. Things are going to change drastically, but I mean, this is going to be a tough league, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another, 7-6 team make the playoffs, or you see a 6-7 team, a subpar 500 team make playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Especially when injuries, guys. This was a bad week for injuries. I mean, we saw Jay Stu go down, who's probably out for the week. We saw Danny Woodhead out for the season. Keenan Allen already, obviously missing from the week 1 video, out for the season. Amir Abdullah's got the foot, AP with the knee. So it's been a rough week, and especially it's a lot of running backs, guys. So, those running backs that are still left, that are workhorses, are more valuable than ever. To set a roster, but it just goes to show. I mean, the scoring's been a little higher this year, especially in NFL games. I feel like it's been pretty decent, especially in fantasy. We had, I think, in the first week we had like 6 teams score over 100. So week 1 was a big boomer week. I mean, I scored 100 and lost. I know Jared scored, I think, league high, or Aaron did, 117. So week 1 was definitely interesting, and then obviously week 3. We're going to just jump right into the scoreboard, take a look at projections and things now. I score off against Jabby this week. I'm projected at 107 to his 93. Obviously, we know projections don't really mean much, but I do have some favorable matchups I'm pretty happy with, especially for the running backs. Jabby, I haven't really looked at your matchups yet, but projected 93.2. Hopefully you score 67 again. That would be lovely, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Brock and Dalton also take on Aaron. Aaron's really looking to get Ezekiel Elliott going. I know he hasn't looked great in that offense, but he is getting the touches. I mean, he fumbled twice on Sunday, but guy's getting 20-plus carries a game, so eventually he's going to break off when he plays some weaker teams, especially with the Bears, which I think he plays this week. So be on the lookout for that. I mean, he probably going to torch the Bears, so be in for a real special treat. Brock and Dalton are projected at 102 to Aaron's 99.2, so very close there. So we'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, guys, get on and comment too. Everybody's been doing a pretty good job of commenting and voting on the matchup, so just be sure to hop on there, put a little comment, and then vote in your projection. Another big matchup we got in the division: two pretty damn good teams, high-scoring teams. Jared and Eric, along with Nick, going at it. They are projected at 101.3 to Jared's 94.6. However, Jared will find a way to win. Obviously, overcomes odds all the time. Probably make another trade with somebody. Jeff squaring off against Nico. Jeff's projected at 81.2. He may not have changed his roster yet, because that is rough. To Nico, 99.6. Jeff, just in case you didn't pay attention, D'Angelo Williams is actually the #1 running back in fantasy as we speak. So, good call on taking Blunt over your handcuff to Bell. Applause to that. Nico, great job snatching him up. Obviously, Nico needs all the luck he can get with Keenan Allen going down week 1. So cards are already kind of stacked against Nico, but he's projected at damn near 100 this week. And draws Jeff, so he could be looking at 2-1. You never know. I think Jeff's definitely put it out there that he wants to wheel and deal and move some people. So anybody interested, hit up Jeff. Jeff's just had a couple guys not pan out yet. Kobe Fleener obviously is looking a little rough. Not touching the ball at all in that offense, and there's a lot of targets to go around. I mean, Breeze will throw 50 times a game. Unfortunately, Fleener's only getting about 7 or 8 of those targets. Obviously the AP injury and then Bell suspension. So, I think if Jeff goes 0-3, you might see a fire sale coming, so be ready. And then last but not least, we got Michael Scott going up against Joe. I believe division matchup for them. Both teams projected in the low 90s, 94.5 for Mike and then 91.8 for Joe. Joe's team's off to a little rough start. His team doesn't look great, but he's got some talent on that roster, especially with Breeze, that can really carry him. I mean, they throw the ball so damn much, and then obviously with Tevin Coleman being a factor now, outside of Freeman. Freeman's looked pedestrian. He's definitely, last week definitely gave some hope, but they're going to split the ball. No question, he's not the workhorse he was last year. Obviously, Tevin Coleman was hurt, but whichever running back goes down in that offense, similar with Tennessee, I think you're going to see a big uptick for that other guy. So it just depends on who gets hurt is going to be the main back there. Eddie Lacy for Joe, not looking hot either, and Thomas Rawls, 7 carries for -7 yards last week, so not efficient by any stretch. But other than that, guys, that wraps it up for about the week 2 recap and week 3 preview. I can't believe we're 3 weeks in already. Season's been rock solid. no real changes. We have had one trade so far. It was clear cut, easy trade to pass through. Pickups have been relatively slow. I think for the first couple weeks, there's only been a handful. I think I've had 3 pickups. Jared's, I think, at 4 or 5. The waiver wire sucks this year. I know last year everybody was diving that first week and picking up, a lot of different players, and the second week was active. But I feel like the waiver wire is just really dry. I feel like that in a lot of my other leagues too. It's just there's really not a lot of meat and potatoes there for points or startable guys. I know once we hit bye weeks, it's really going to ramp up. We're going to see some reaches, some streaming of defense and kicker, but outside of that, it's been a little weak. Activity's good though. I mean, the text is good for what it's good for people talking shit and talking about games on Sunday. But make sure you get on and comment on the posts on the matchups and vote on the league page. I know we already got 5 votes today, and I put that up at lunchtime at work. So I'll be changing that progressively as we go through the week. But from there, guys, I mean, it's been good starts of the season so far. I hope most teams stay in it, so there's not a tendency to fall off and the activity dies. But yeah, from there, guys, I mean, let's get the trade talks going. I know a lot of teams want to move some players. A lot of teams are kind of still feeling their teams out and feeling guys out. So we'll see what happens once the season rolls on. It's about week 5. We're really going to start telling teams are going to start separating themselves from the division and really, showing who the teams are. So obviously injuries play a big part. But that's about all I got, guys. So you guys have a great week. Good luck. Thursday night game we got coming up. Should be, I don't even fucking know who's playing, so I don't really care. It's not the Bears, and they suck. So you guys have a good week. Any questions, obviously put them on the league page here. We'll go over it. I don't think there's anything we're really needing to change at this point. Keeper still going forward, so that's not changing. The one division things, that's more or less a joke. Maybe we'll throw it up in the air, but I think the way we got it kind of works. I mean, it's cool. So creates a little more element. I mean, me and Eric had some fun shit talking on Sunday, so I really do like that, the matchup portion and that meaning something. So other than that, guys, have a great week. I will see you guys next week. Try to get videos up every Tuesday, and then from there we will keep on rolling. All right, we'll see you, fellas.